Git was originally designed so that multiple people could work together on coding projects. However, when two or more people work on the same file at the same time, Git might have a hard time figuring out which person's changes take precedence. When that happens, you have to deal with a merge conflict. In this video, I'm going to show you what a merge conflict is and what you can do about it. So we're going to use the following repo, and we're going to clone that down to our laptop, as usual. So go into our server, Git gadget, and the clone tab, put in information about where the repo is, and click on clone. It's going to ask us, is it okay to stop Git gadget? Sure. And it's going to switch over into the repo we're working with. So this is the file we're going to edit, and let me show you some information about exactly what we're going to do. So we're going to edit the file in two different places. First, we're going to edit the file mergeconflict.rmd on the GitLab server directly, and I'll show you how to do that. We're going to enter only the date and then commit. And the message we're going to use is going to be GitLab commit. After that, we're also going to edit the same file, but now on our laptop. We're going to enter the name and try to commit the changes that we made. So it's going to look something like this on the right here. So let's go back to GitLab. It's going to start there. We're going to open the mergeconflict.rmd file. There's not a lot in it. You see here there's an edit button. I'll click on that. And as it said in the guidelines, we're only going to add the date, 9-12. So if we scroll down here, we see there's an option to change the commit message. Right? And it's set to use GitLab commit, and then commit those changes. Cool. So here's the change. If we go back here to the base file, we can see that there are two commits. The original commit by the instructor and the commit that we just did. All right, now let's do the same thing or similar processes in the file that we downloaded to our laptop. So now we're on localhost, and remember from the instructions, we're going to put in our name, but nothing else. Our studio says we haven't saved the file, so let's do that. And now we're going to go to the commit tab. It's actually saying that there's two files that changed, but that's a bit silly because there's actually nothing that's meaningfully changed in the rproj file, which is the file that shows to our studio that this is in our project. So we're just going to revert that. There's no real changes there. And we're going to focus on the merge conflict file. So there's the chain. That's exactly what we were asked to do. Add the name and nothing else. So we can stage that and say laptop commit. All right, so let's commit that. And that means, again, make a snapshot of the current state of the file so we can see the differences between the original and what we just changed. Press commit. That all goes great. And now let's see if we can push the changes up to GitLab. Now when we try to do this, we see an error message. So what does it say? It says updates were rejected because the remote, which is the GitLab server, contains work that you do not have locally. Aha! That's true, because we went to GitLab, the server, and we made a change there after we had already cloned down the repository. And so there's a change that we made on the server that we don't have locally. And how can we see that? We don't have information about the date here, which we provided through the commit on GitLab. All right, so now what do we do? Well, the first thing to do here is let's go back to the commit tab, and we'll try to pull those changes that are on the server down to where we are locally. Now here is where things get a little confused because it says I'm trying to merge these two files, but there's a merge conflict. And so we're going to have to fix something manually, right? It's tried to automatically merge it for us, but that didn't work. Now, let's see what we have. So there's a bunch of stuff that's got added to the file. So let's go ahead and open the file and see what we see. All right. So here at first is the change that we made on our laptop, right? And it's saying, hey, you know what? That same line in the same file, I'm trying to merge information from two different sources, from the laptop and from the server. And you know what? I don't know which is the right one. So you, as the coder, you need to decide what the changes should be. Now this is a relatively straightforward one because I know that I just need to add the date here, which I already had on the server, and I can remove the rest. Okay, so this is what we were trying to get in the first place. All right, so let's save that and go back to the commit tab. Let's make sure that everything is staged. And here now we see we went from what was on the laptop, the commit we made, Vincent, and then we added the date. And so now we have the full setup that we wanted, right? So what was the issue that occurred? There was a change that was made to the file that we're interested in after we had already cloned it. Now we made a change locally as well. We tried to merge the two together, and because it's the same file, same line, Git didn't know what to do. So we had to help it out and clean up the discrepancy. So now that we've done that, we can just say fixed it and go ahead and commit and push this up to the server. Now if all goes well, we'll get a message saying without any error messages. Excellent. So now let's go ahead and look at what we see on the server. I'm going to hit refresh. Okay. Now there's actually three extra commits, right? So this is the original. Then there's the commit that we created on GitLab, the website. Then there's the commit we made after we just added the name. And then there was the extra commit we had to make to merge the two changes together, right? The change from the one made on GitLab versus the one that was made on the laptop. So let's double check. Yep, here is exactly the change that we wanted. Okay, so again, a merge conflict occurs when multiple people work on the same file at the same time. And not just that, they work on the same lines. And so when that occurs, somebody has to go in and figure out what was the actual end state of the file that we wanted, fix that, and then push those changes, those fixes up to GitLab.